Hi, my name's Dee and welcome to Untitled Tarot. Now this is a general reading for your sign, the one in the title, because it's a bulk introduction. There's a timestamp below if you've seen it already before. For the Mars conjunction with Neptune in Pisces this Saturday. I'm not going to speak at length about this because if you look at the link down below in the description for the Facebook page, I've already posted numerous videos about the astrologers who know what they're talking about this conjunction, and it has a wide range. On the very lowest octave, you can look at it as a suicide bomber willing to sacrifice his life for an ideal, whether it's deluded or not. At the highest octave, you can see that you have really forward momentum with some high spiritual goal or communication, but all the way wrapped through it is the risk of illusion, the risk of being swamped, of your fire being doused by the massive waters of Neptune. So it may well be a struggle to find that highest vibration of forward motion with a spiritual goal or spiritual communication or astral projection or anything. You know, astral projection is supposed to be a bit more tough at the moment now that the South Node is in Sagittarius. So the question I'm looking at is, I mean, it's mainly an oracle card reading, but the question I'm looking at is, how best can we use the energies of this conjunction? I mean, you can ask a question of your own, in which case pause the video, think of the question, focus. You've heard my spiel on other videos. But really, this is more of a, I'm wanting to look at the energies and the forces that are involved at the moment, because there's a lot going on in the world, and you know, macrocosm, microcosm, there's no doubt a lot going on in all of us. So, if you like the video, please press like. Thank you very much to everyone who has subscribed so far. If you do like the video, subscribe, and then you'll get to see more of it. And or, well, please subscribe, and or join the Facebook page, because that way you will always see my videos as I post them, and all the videos of places I'm learning from. Well, not all of the videos, but you know, there's, as I've mentioned before, the astrology podcast average length is 2.5 hours, you know. So that is, you can go and find the astrology podcast if you want to. But in the meantime, I don't think there's anything else to say. So, and there's a link down below for this month's Western and, for the first time, Chinese zodiac sign monthly readings. Okay, let me bring up the cards. In fact, just before I bring up the cards, I just want to read out the inside degree of this conjunction. Now, I'm reading Pisces 21, or the 21st degree of Pisces, because this conjunction occurs at 20 degrees 56 minutes, so towards the end of the 21st degree. So it's pagan fire worshippers dancing, trance states, at home in psychic realms and other realities, the self-abandon to the tribe, to the sweep of the moment, to the energies that arise, on fire with longing and poignant bittersweet reflections, a throwback, a native, a primal soul, emotional, depth-centered, superphysical. You are energized tremendously by special occasions, extraordinary meetings, unexpected miracles and tragedies, expectant and waiting for something wild and unknown to break through, mediumistic, vicarious, and charged with a life force that must be followed out, a certain distinctive fate, to be at times disappearing and gone, and at other times resurgent and mighty, all dependent on the tides of fortune. And it will always change in unpredictable, exciting, disorienting, and multiple ways. Considering the world situation as we head into this conjunction, I think that is quite poignant. And it goes to demonstrate what I was saying about the lower to the higher vibration. Be wary of delusion during this conjunction and during the energies of this conjunction. Mars later sextiles Uranus on the 30th, so I think Neptune may well colour that martial energy for, let me see, it'll be the 21st, so for that it's not, it's the 13th, isn't it? So nearly 2 weeks that Neptune may well colour Martian energy. So now let me finally bring up the cards properly. And welcome Gemini Rising and Gemini Moon if you've just joined us after the timestamp. And if you are Gemini Rising, then this is happening in your 10th house, all about your achievements and status in the outside world, which is quite interesting during the dramatic times that we're living in and the assortment of cards that you have. Because there's a bit of a mission here for you, Gemini, but there's also a focus on the strength that is required for you to carry on through. We have Yemaya, symbolizing really the Empress in this particular deck, but she is a water goddess, a river goddess. She is the passage of change. She is certainly, with the water, she is the flow of emotions. But the conjunction here is ruled over by Balaam, purveyor of truths. And truths is a very interesting new transition. Did you like it? Truths is a very interesting point, certainly under the influence of Neptune, but also with Dumas here from Le Carte Infernale. Based on old sailors' tales of questionable veracity, she wears a crown and has 4 horns and 4 teeth. Her hands are strong and clawed, and her legs are those of a rooster. Now, it looks increasingly likely that she is a complete invention of Colin de Plancy, based on a half-written, by the sound of it, half-written tale of a god called Dumo. And then later demonologists tried to put Demas with the Hindu goddess Durga. But what is interesting is is etymology the right word? Her passage through history after her arrival at the hands of Colin de Plancy. Beware of, well, as it says in the book, the telephone game, which I know rather poorly as Chinese whispers, of one person telling something to the next, telling something to the next, telling something to the next. And, you know, you start with she bought 2 loaves of bread and you end up with an elephant is rampaging through the market town. You know, there's how things can get so very distorted. And the moon is quite prevalent here. Gemini, you have the ability to pull things apart and dissect things, and I think that's what you are being called on to do at the moment, because there's change and wish fulfillment at the end of this. But what's interesting from the angels and ancestors, I think, deck is there's 2 cards come from that: Shield Maiden, make plans and focus, or She-Wolf, unleash the wild within. Now that unleash the wild within, right here under the Neptune stream, we have someone presenting a new idea, possibly a sort of a love message, but I think it's more a message that can easily be misinterpreted, because we have the Devil card, which is indicating that passion to react, that passion to go forward, where you can go forward with quite some speed. But what was hidden is the power here with the 8 of Cups. I can never tell if it's an 8 or a 3. Yeah, that's an 8. Finally, I get good light to see it in. So there's a warning there with don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, and there's a warning there about believing everything that you're told. There is so much misinformation implied by Dumas and Balaam's presence in this reading, that one thing I want to say is, yes, use your intuition. This is the intuition and manifestation card from the Quantum Oracle. It's about coming into your power, using that Neptunian energy, well, Martian Neptunian energy, to really tune into your intuition. And all you've got to do in this time is be receptive. That's what the prayer card is telling me. Be receptive, because the one prayer I feel that you want to be ushering out into the universe is thank you. Thank you for telling me that. And thank you for telling me that. And thank you for telling me that. And just that element of thank you will bring a firm foundation. There's a lot of magic in here as well. We've got the moon card, and it's showing the lies and illusions pulling people along like puppets on a string. But this is clarifying the universe card, or the world, which is showing that elements are pulling you in all different directions, but at the same time supporting you. So if you can hold still against that influence of the moon and just go, okay, well, that's what you tell me, fine, and save the reactions until a little bit later, because there is a danger of being angry about something that you are told, certainly in a love context or a relationship context, or in a attempting to bring unity context, and it's 50% chance it's right and 50% chance it's wrong. And you don't want to be reacting to the wrong things. So if it's right, then you can make plans and focus upon that issue. But that's make plans, not take action. Focus your thoughts, not your actions upon it. And Gemini, you're good at thinking. You know, your ruler is Mercury. That is the planet of thoughts. The other thing with the Orpheus card, although it says music here, and again, there's that receptiveness that I'm thinking with music, because yes, you can make music, but I'm not a musical person. I receive music. I turn the computer on, or the stereo on, or the radio on, and I receive music from it. Some has positive effects, some has negative effects. And most of it I don't really like. But that's a lie. There is music I like. It's just not much. Specialised tastes. But with the Orpheus card, what I'm really feeling, as well as that receptivity aspect of that, feeling the ebb and flow of the sound as the various harmonies travel across you, I'm feeling that thought of keep the faith. The one thing that Orpheus did until the very last minute as he was leaving the underworld, and he turned round at the last minute and in effect sentenced Eurydice back to her unlife in the underworld, whereas she was that close to coming back to the living world. And that whole keep the faith is really important. Yemaya, in one of my other oracle decks, Mythic Oracle, represents hope. So to have Yemaya and Orpheus together like that is showing that the river is flowing in the right direction. Keep the faith, keep the hope that you're ending up at the right place, because it will take strength. There is, what is interesting is two of cups here. But there's also a great clarity and quite an interesting progression. We've got an ace, so a 1, then 2 of cups, 3 of cups, 4 of cups, all in a nice row under the angel of strength. So you are being taken on a journey. And you are being taken on a journey where there is guidance at the end of it, but it can easily be distracted by the actions of other people. You can easily get knocked off whatever your path is supposed to be during this conjunction if you are paying too much heed to tittle-tattle, for one thing. You know, what other people are saying, that this has happened and this went on and they did this and they did that, and you need to really mainly just concentrate on what you did and what you saw. And with what you saw, make sure you're interpreting it correctly. But again, with this Eight of Cups being clarifying the Devil card here, there's that element of the danger is losing faith. For some reason, you have to keep the faith, and you have to keep the faith in the higher ideals and not necessarily unleash the wild within until it is the right moment. And you can only unleash that wild within once you have planned and go, right, I will get this sorted, and I'll get this sorted and this sorted, and then that's when I release my wild side. But you don't release your wild side until you have all these other things in place, because it is a game of chess to try and build your foundation here. And with prayer, you will receive the guidance, but strength is required here to keep yourself from being buffeted by doubt, by the tittle-tattle, by what people are saying are truths, but they're not. But there is a real chance of opening the doorway to happiness here. And that's something that I feel that you need to focus on and move forward with. So I believe that these are already existing plans with this Knight of Swords. Unless that is some form of message that says, right, now's the time to go ahead with what you had planned. Because this is under the candles and magic card. But under the influence of Neptune, we have Princess of Wands with the Five of Swords. So beware any news that causes conflict. So again, there's that feeling of don't trust everything that you hear. I might even call the reading that, don't trust all that you hear. But if you go on this dream journey, 2, 3, 4 of Cups, you will receive your guidance at the end of it, but you've got to let the river run. You've got to let those emotions and those reactions all wash over you and wash past you. You know, think of the litany of fear, or is it litany against fear? You know, I will let it wash over me and through me. Fine. And then it's gone. But at the very end here, we have victory. We've got the Six of Cups under synergy. If you can restrain your reactive side until you know you've moved all the chess pieces into place, then there is change and wish fulfillment here for you. But you've got to wait until you know that all the right pieces are in place. So there's another load of cards dropped out at the end. So three of Wands with virtue, Eight of Cups again. So there's that danger of losing the faith. Beware of making commitments under this conjunction, to be quite honest, because we have forward motion with the Three of Wands, but then Eight of Cups walk away from things. The Lovers for something that you agree to, or a commitment that you make, a decision that you make, immediately followed by the Five of Cups. Now in this deck it's called disappointment, but I actually feel really positive about that. It's almost like you are making a decision to commit to something which involves you getting rid of a load of other stuff. And that in and of itself is an expression of your power. That is you having your wish fulfillment. That is you having your victory, and the world will support it. But it does mean that there is loss. There is loss that you may well cause deliberately. But it's your loss, so you are free to cause it. You know, it's not like you're doing that to somebody else. But there is an immense amount of magic, right from the candles to the Five of Cups here. So this can be a very, very magical time, but it's a time of basking in that magic and letting it wash over you, rather than trying to utilize it. Just know that with whatever you're planning and whatever you put your focus on, don't try and harness the magic. Let it flow. Let the river flow. Simply know that what you are doing for the long-term plans that have been around for a while is supported right now. There is change coming, but the change, when it actually comes, is for the better. But beware tittle-tattle. Beware any truths that are presented to you that are second hand, third hand, fourth hand, 16th hand. Okay, so I hope that means something for you, Gemini. If it does, comment down below. There will be new moon reading coming out. I will hopefully do a separate solstice reading for like the following 6 months. In the meantime, simply stay tuned. Cheers.